You work incredibly hard. You
Yeah.
really are dedicated. You give it your all. But have you ever felt like you're just running in place?
Mm-hmm.
Like despite all that huge effort, true wealth or maybe just real freedom,
Yeah.
it still feels kind of out of reach.
Yeah, that's a feeling a lot of people know. It's deeply frustrating.
It really is. So today we're taking a deep dive into some really powerful sources that speak directly to this. They sort of challenge that common idea that just working hard is the whole answer.
Right.
In fact, what these sources suggest is pretty profound. It's not that you're lazy, it's more like you're diligent, but maybe in ways that don't really serve you in the long run.
That's a great way to put it.
So our mission for this deep dive is to, gently pinpoint 5 key areas where lots of talented, really hardworking people inadvertently go wrong.
Uh-huh.
And by recognizing these subtle traps, the idea is you can redirect that incredible energy, your dedication, towards what really matters.
Yeah.
Making sure your hard work actually builds the life you want.
And what really stands out from these sources, is how the problem often isn't a lack of effort at all. It's more of a fundamental misalignment of that effort.
Misalignment.
Yeah. It's about working smart, sure. But maybe even more deeply, it's about working strategically towards your own long-term gain, your own fulfillment.
Right.
We've pulled together some really relatable examples to make these ideas kind of tangible. And our hope is this deep dive isn't just about, finding problems.
Yeah, not just pointing fingers.
Exactly. It's about empowering you with insights to actually shift things, maybe profoundly shift your trajectory.
Okay, let's dig in. Our first trap. This one's really common, I think, and it can hit hard. It's about dedicating all your energy, physical, mental, creative, to someone else's system, but never really building anything for yourself.
That's the core of it.
You might be that person, right? Always going above and beyond, early and late out, treating the business like it's your own.
Totally invested.
But then, at the end of the month, you get a fixed salary. And often, let's be honest, it doesn't truly reflect the immense value you've created within that system.
No, not really. No profit share, no stock.
Right. No real say in decisions. And, crucially, you're not building something that can make money for you, even when you're not, actively working.
That passive element is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your income just stops the second you stop working,
Yeah.
well, you're kind of caught in this loop, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the broader implications here, it really highlights a critical distinction. Business owners, the ones who build real wealth, they often get there not just from their own hard work on the ground floor, but from setting up a system, a self-sustaining system, and then leveraging the hard work and talent of others within it.
They're like the architects.
Exactly. They're the architects reaping these ongoing returns because the system keeps running, long after the initial work is done.
Right.
And the painful truth is many people spend their whole lives diligently making others rich without ever quite realizing they could build something of their own.
That's a powerful point. But, for someone listening, that might feel huge. Like, how do you even start thinking about building your own machine when you're so deep inside someone else's?
Well, that's where the mindset shift has to start. It's tough, but it's possible. Take the story of Tom, for example.
Okay.
He was this mechanic, worked tirelessly, almost 15 years. He'd open the shop super early, work nonstop, even helping customers at night. Built up incredible trust, huge loyalty.
Sounds invaluable.
Totally. His work directly helped the owner expand the business, open new branches, but Tong, he just stayed an employee. Got small annual raises, a lunchbox, lots of praise, while the owner was off traveling internationally.
Wow, so the value wasn't really flowing back to him in the same way.
Not proportionally, no.
Yeah.
And Tong never seriously considered opening his own garage, even though he had the skills, the reputation, the loyal customers.
Why not? What held him back?
Well, according to the source, it was things like fear of the costs, maybe a lack of confidence in himself, and this really ingrained belief in, unwavering loyalty to his boss.
No, that loyalty trap.
Yeah, so he ended up making others rich, basically, while having very little savings himself, no real security for his own future.
That's tough to hear.
It is, but the point isn't about Tong being lazy, right? He was the opposite.
Clearly.
It's about diligence without ownership. It's a really profound call, I think, to reconsider where you're investing your most valuable stuff. Your time, your energy, your talent. Pause for effect, 0.75s. Are you building your legacy or someone else's?
Okay, so diligence without ownership is the first trap. That leads kind of naturally to the second one, doesn't it? What if you have no idea what you're even aiming for?
Right.
Like living day to day without a map.
Exactly. Pitfall number 2, living without that clear long-term map, just sort of drifting. You're doing tasks because, well, they're there because everyone else does them. Or maybe you just feel like you don't have another choice.
Yeah, I could see that. Especially when you're younger, maybe. You don't feel that urgency to plan.
Right. There always seems like there's more time, more energy, more opportunities down the road.
So you earn, okay, you cover your bills each month, but you never really stop and ask those big questions like, where am I actually headed in 5 years? Or 10?
Or will I have enough when I'm older? What if I get sick and can't work for a while? Those kinds of things.
It's like traveling without a map, like you said, or even a destination. You just let the wind blow you around.
And where do you often end up?
Kind of back where you started, maybe. Feeling a bit bored, stagnant, definitely exhausted, but without much, tangible progress to show for all that effort.
Precisely. And when we put this in context, long-term planning isn't just about getting rich. It's really about having the power, the agency to choose your own life path.
Instead of just reacting to things.
Exactly, not being forced into circumstances. When you have a plan, even a loose one, you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and critically, what adjustments you might need to make along the way.
That includes skills too, right? Not just money.
Absolutely. Consciously building specific skills, specific assets for your future security. And, people who really plan long term, they're not usually trying to get rich overnight.
No quick fixes?
No. They patiently build step by step. They're not constantly comparing themselves to others either. They use their own progress year over year as the benchmark. And that leads to sustainable, real wealth.
That distinction, the internal benchmark versus always looking sideways at others, that feels really important. But how does someone even start to develop that long-term view if they've always just, reacted?
It really just starts with taking that first step, however small it seems. Let's look at this contrast the sources give us between Polk and Khan.
Okay, Puck and Fun.
Both started as office workers, similar salaries, pretty much the same starting point. Polk was super diligent, always on time, never absent, solid employee.
Sounds good.
But she had no real-life plan. She spent her whole salary every month on daily expenses and, rewarding herself for working hard. Little treats, maybe bigger ones.
Okay, I can picture that.
After 10 years, she was in the exact same job. Very little income growth, no savings, no investments. And tragically, when the company restructured, she was one of the first let go. No safety net, no particularly marketable skills built up outside that specific role.
Oof. Yeah.
That's a really vivid picture of what that Thai phrase, like, that feeling drained and powerless can look like in reality.
Right. So what about Fawn?
Now Fawn. She started with a clear plan right from day one. She wanted a small house in 8 years. She set up monthly investments. She was constantly learning online about finance.
Proactive.
Very. She set small quarterly goals for herself, built a really strict savings system. She even started a blog about her life planning journey.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and eventually she started earning money from it, created some online courses. So after those same 10 years, Fawn quit her office job. She had her own thriving online business. She owned her home, had millions in savings. She was living the life she had meticulously designed.
Wow. It was quite a contrast.
Isn't it? And the key difference between Puck and Fawn wasn't how diligent they were. They were both hardworking women.
Right, both put in the hours.
The difference was why. One worked basically to survive day to day, while the other worked strategically to create the life she actually desired. Planning really is about choosing your destination before you start the journey.
Pause for effect, 0.75s.
Okay, choosing the destination. That makes sense. Now this next one, I think this pitfall is incredibly relatable for so many people listening. It's our third area. The cycle of being really good at earning money. Maybe you've got a great salary, successful side gigs, maybe even multiple jobs, but somehow you never have any left over.
The vanishing paycheck.
Exactly. The money just disappears by the end of the month, sometimes even before the next one lands. And it feels kind of normal, doesn't it?
It does. Every expense seems justified in the moment.
Yeah. Daily commute, food, rent, clothes, and then those, well-deserved rewards for working so hard. Shopping, movies, a nice trip.
I earned this. Right. And the really insidious thing is we tell ourselves, okay, I'll start saving next month.
Always next month.
But then an emergency pops up or just life happens, and poof, the money's gone again. It creates this cycle where you're essentially working just to spend rather than working to create lasting value.
Yeah, and this often comes from a mindset, doesn't it? A belief that says, maybe Money earned should be enjoyed to the fullest right now, so all that effort wasn't wasted.
Or even saving means depriving myself, like it's a punishment.
Exactly. But it makes you stop and wonder, doesn't it?
Uh,
What if spending all your income without setting aside a deliberate portion for the future? What if that's actually a slow, maybe subtle form of self-sabotage?
hmm. Self-sabotage. How so?
Well, think about the long-term impact. It's significant. If your spending just keeps growing right alongside your income, you have zero financial buffer.
No cushion.
None. So when unexpected things happen, and they always do, right? Job loss, illness, family emergency,
Yeah, life throws curveballs.
you're completely exposed. And that often leads straight to debt, which brings immense stress. And you get caught in this cycle of financial vulnerability, constantly chasing the next paycheck. Whereas, in stark contrast, even people with lower incomes who manage to consistently save and invest, even small amounts, early on, they develop far greater security over time, more choices, and eventually the freedom to not have their lives dictated by the constant need to chase money.
So it really isn't just about how much you bring in.
Not primarily, no.
It's what you do with it. But what's a common, maybe psychological trap that keeps people stuck in that earn and spend loop even when they kind of know better?
I think often it's that pull of immediate gratification. Spending feels good now, saving. That benefit feels abstract, far off in the future.
Right, less tangible.
Exactly. Consider this example from the sources. Boy, a 30-year-old salesman, good income, around $50,000 barter a month with commission. Talented guy, diligent, always hitting his targets.
Living well.
Yes, his habit was to regularly reward himself. New clothes, the latest phone, nice meals out, monthly trips away. You know, enjoying the fruits of his labor.
Sounds nice,
But he didn't save or invest anything. He genuinely believed, hey, I can always earn more.
I'll always earn more fallacy.
Yeah, got it. Then his company hit unexpected economic problems. He was laid off, income gone, instantly.
Oh, wow.
And with no emergency fund, nothing set aside. He spiraled into credit card debt pretty quickly. Had to borrow from friends, family. The stress just piled up, even started affecting his health.
That's rough.
It really is. But Boy's situation wasn't because he was lazy, right? He was a good salesman.
No, he was diligent.
Diligent, but without a solid financial management system, without a clear, forward-looking plan. True wealth, the kind that brings security, it isn't primarily about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep, and crucially, how much you make grow from what you earn. Pause for effect. 0.75 seeds. And this isn't just about spreadsheets and budgets, it's about self-discipline, really. Preparing for life's inevitable bumps in the road.
Okay, so managing what you earn is critical. Let's delve a bit deeper now into pitfall number 4. This one feels like it touches on something really deep-seated, maybe subconscious for a lot of us. It's the fear of investing.
Yes. The fear of loss.
Yes, specifically because losing money feels so much worse than the possibility of maybe not getting rich.
That asymmetry of risk perception, loss aversion.
Right. So for many people, not investing feels like the safest choice. Maybe they saw friends or family lose money or heard scary stories.
Or had one bad experience themselves, yeah. That can really put someone off for life, unfortunately.
So how do these sources address that very real, very understandable fear?
Well, what's fascinating here, and maybe a bit counterintuitive, is that staying still, doing nothing, while it feels safe.
Seems like the default safe option.
Right. But it's actually a slow form of regression, especially in a world that's always changing. It brings up a critical question. Do you realize that in a world where inflation is constantly, quietly eroding the value of your money every single year?
Yeah. Eating away at it.
That just keeping your cash sitting there, maybe in a low-interest account, actually means you are slowly but surely getting poorer in terms of real purchasing power.
Ouch. Okay. That's a stark way to put it, but it makes sense.
People who get stuck in this safety-first mindset, they tend to stay way inside their comfort zones. They often see investing as basically gambling.
High risk. Unpredictable.
Yeah. And because of that fear, they miss out on huge growth opportunities over time simply because they never engage, never learn, never start. And then years later, they're often shocked, genuinely shocked to see their peers.
Who maybe started at the same place.
Exactly. Started at the same point, but now they own homes, they have significant assets, maybe successful businesses. And the difference wasn't necessarily that they earned way more or were more diligent day to day.
It was.
It was often simply the courage to start investing, even small amounts, and learn along the way.
Okay, so it's about shifting that perspective. But practically speaking, how does someone overcome that fear? That fear of loss can feel paralyzing.
It really can. But you can invest. It just requires a very conscious shift in how you view it.
How so?
Instead of seeing investment primarily as a risk of losing money, try viewing it as an opportunity for learning and for growth.
Learning and growth. Okay.
The sources suggest starting small, really small if you need to. Invest in things you can understand, maybe index funds, something diversified, and the initial goal isn't necessarily to get rich quick.
Right. Not chasing huge returns immediately.
No, the goal is to train yourself. Train yourself to handle market ups and downs, to understand basic financial concepts like compounding and risk diversification, and fundamentally to shift your mindset from that fear of losing to maybe a fear of not starting, a fear of missing out on long-term growth.
Okay, the reframing is helpful. Fear of not starting.
Consider Chai. He's another example. 35-year-old civil servant, stable income, had about 200,000 baht saved up. Disciplined guy, frugal.
Sounds responsible.
Very, but he never invested a penny of it. Wouldn't buy stocks, wouldn't consider starting a small side business, wouldn't even invest time in learning new skills if they felt risky. Why?
Fear of losing his savings.
Exactly. He'd seen a friend's business fail years ago, and that experience just locked him into safety-first mode.
So what happened over time?
Well, 10 years later, that same friend who failed, he'd learned from his mistakes, dusted himself off, successfully opened multiple other businesses, built several income streams.
Wow.
Chai, meanwhile, still in the same job, not much income growth. His savings had increased a bit, sure, just from adding to them, but in nominal terms. They hadn't grown the way invested capital could have through compounding.
So he was safe, but stagnant.
Pretty much. Chai's story really shows how being too afraid to lose, while it seems cautious, becomes this significant trap, especially for people who genuinely desire security but never take the calculated actions needed for real growth.
It's like the pursuit of absolute safety prevents achieving real security.
You could say that. Truly wealthy people, they aren't fearless. They've just trained themselves, through knowledge and experience, to manage risk much better than most people. Pause for effect. 0.75s. And that ability, that willingness to engage with calculated risk, that's the crucial distinction. It makes all the difference in the long run.
Okay, managing risk, not avoiding it entirely. That leads us to our fifth and final insight. This one's about roles we play. It's the trap of being like the perfect team player, the excellent subordinate.
The go-to person.
Yeah, but never actually stepping up into a leadership role.
Always the reliable soldier, never the general.
Exactly. You're the one everyone relies on, right? Gets things done correctly, quickly, never complains, often does way more than ask without expecting extra pay. You're a pillar.
The backbone of the team.
But you consistently stay a follower. You never dare to become a project leader, a team leader, maybe even start your own business.
And this often stems from how we're trained, doesn't it? From a young age, maybe.
Yeah, follow orders, don't rock the boat. Questioning authority, even just offering opinions sometimes, can feel like you're stepping out of line or challenging your superiors.
Right. You grow up in this framework that implicitly says, don't stand out too much, don't disrupt things, don't take risks.
Just do what you're told, do it exceptionally well, and, wait for praise.
Yeah. And a key insight here is that real leadership, it demands a completely different mindset than being an excellent subordinate.
How so? What's the core difference?
It's not just about executing tasks well, even perfectly. It's about having the courage to make decisions when there isn't a clear path. It's about taking responsibility, especially for mistakes.
Owning it.
Owning it. Seeing the bigger picture beyond your specific tasks. And importantly, standing firm when things feel uncertain or ambiguous.
It sounds less comfortable.
It is.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, right? Is your desire for that certainty, that security, actually holding you back from growth opportunities that, by their nature, require stepping into the unknown? People who've been really good subordinates for a long time, they often hesitate to lead precisely because they lack confidence in those areas.
Like what?
Well, they're used to waiting for instructions. Maybe they struggle with setting a vision, they fear speaking their mind openly, or they worry intensely about being disliked or about failing publicly.
So they value that certainty, that structure.
Exactly. They feel safer within those clear structures, and they consciously or unconsciously avoid the responsibility that comes with being accountable for large outcomes.
It sounds like a very deeply ingrained comfort zone. But what's the actual cost of staying there, especially if you're clearly capable, like the person we described?
The price of that comfort long-term is pretty significant. Remaining in the same role, no matter how impeccably you perform it, eventually just limits your true advancement.
There's a ceiling.
There's usually a ceiling in any system for purely subordinate roles. If you don't dare to eventually own your work, whether that means owning projects, leading teams, or starting your own business, you simply won't achieve the kind of wealth or freedom that detaches your income from constantly trading your time and effort.
Can you give us an example of this?
Sure. Let's talk about Kay. She was an advertising employee, praised by literally everyone for her skill, her diligence, worked there almost 10 years. Super reliable, kind, never refused a task, always delivered flawless work.
The model employee.
Absolutely. So when a team leader position opened up, everyone nominated Kay. It seemed obvious.
Makes sense.
But she immediately refused, turned it down flat.
Why?
Her reasons were all about fear and lack of confidence. She said she wasn't confident enough, she was afraid of leading, she didn't know how to plan or manage people effectively, she was worried she'd make the team worse or get blamed if budgets went wrong, all those anxieties.
So what happened?
The position went to someone else, someone who was, frankly, braver but maybe less capable than Kay overall. And Kay.
5 years later, Kay was still in the same position, still working hard, still diligent, but now younger, less experienced people were her team leaders.
Ouch.
Her income hadn't grown significantly, and she felt stagnant, really stagnant, all because she hadn't dared to step out of that comfort zone when the opportunity arose.
That's a powerful story.
It really is. Kay's story reflects so many talented people who are brilliant at creating results, but mainly for other people's growth and opportunities, not their own.
So how do you break free?
To break free, the sources suggest you have to face that uncertainty. You have to dare to make mistakes because that's how you learn. You have to stop being content with merely being an excellent subordinate. Pause for effect. 0.75s.
It starts internally then.
Yes. First, you have to learn to lead yourself, manage your fears, build your confidence. Then, when your mindset is truly ready, you can lead others effectively. Leadership isn't just a title on a door. It's really the attitude of taking your life, your career into your own hands. Taking your life into your own hands. That's a strong finish to these 5 pitfalls. So just to recap, we've taken a deep dive into 5 really powerful insights, haven't we? Things that explain why even the most hardworking people can feel so stuck. From working tirelessly for others but never building your own assets.
That ownership piece.
To living without a long-term plan, just drifting. Then spending everything you earn, no matter how much it is.
The earn and spend cycle.
Being paralyzed by the fear of investing, fearing loss more than seeking growth, and finally shying away from leadership, staying the excellent subordinate forever.
Those are the subtle yet powerful traps.
Yeah. And what this deep dive really shows us, I think, is that just being diligent, it isn't enough on its own, is it?
No, it's necessary, but not sufficient.
It's got to be like strategic diligence. It's
Right.
about cultivating that owner's mindset we talked about. And critically, it seems, having the courage to face your fears.
Whether that's the fear of financial loss, or the fear of planning for an unknown future, or even the fear of stepping up and leading.
Right. Facing those fears seems key.
Which really raises an important final question for you, listening right now. Now that you've heard these 5 pitfalls, which one, maybe just one, resonates most deeply with where you are right now?
That's a good reflection point.
And thinking about that one area, what's one small intentional step, maybe something really tiny that you could take today or this week to begin shifting your trajectory?
Just one small step.
Yeah, to start transforming all that hard work from just endless effort into genuine progress. Progress towards a life you actually truly desire. Pause for effect. Remember, just knowing this stuff, sharing knowledge, it doesn't automatically create safety or success. And some people listen just to gather information, maybe apply it superficially. The real power ultimately lies in your application, what you do with it.
That's a perfect closing thought. The power is in the application. We really hope this deep dive has given you plenty to reflect on, maybe some new ways to think about your own journey.
Hopefully some actionable insights too.
Absolutely. We're really grateful you joined us for this conversation today and truly hope it empowers you to make all your hard work really, truly count.